Hi everyone, welcome back to Legend of Mystics. I'm your host Diana Priyanka Chaudhary. Now before we get into the main content of today, I just want to discuss something I said last week. So last week I said that my fantasy book, which is called Infinite Rise of a Rebel, will start uploading on Wattpad, a free book community where anyone can go and read books for free starting 16th or 17th of August, but we're already in September 2021, so I cannot create a time machine and go back and start uploading my chapters back then. So sorry about that. It's already uploaded the first couple of chapters at least, so I'll put a link below if you're interested in fantasy, if you're interested in diverse POC point of views in fantasy. Please check it out. Without further ado, let's get into what we're going to discuss today. So today we're going to discuss the Aruban creation myth. The Arubans are a clan best known in Nigeria, West Africa, and this is their version of how the world was created. In Yoruban mythology, there is a council of gods named Orishas. By the way, I have to look it down at my notes a lot and make sure I try my best to get the pronunciations right and all the facts of the story right. So if I keep looking down, it's because of that. So the Orisha were a council of gods, and the sky god was called Olurun, and the sea god was called Olukun. And in the beginning, after the heavens, on the earth there was only the sky and the water. So one of the Orisha called Orunmila, Obatala. Orunmila is coming later in the story. Obatala, who's the healing god and the god of creation, basically said, we should create land and we should create men. So he went to Orunmila, the wise one among the Orisha, to ask how to do that. And Orunmila said, you're going to need a one long gold chain. You're going to need a black cat. Meow. You're going to need a snail shell and sand. Also, you're going to need a white hen. Okay. So after Obatala got all of these things, he dropped that long gold chain from heaven all the way down to earth and used it to climb down to earth. Once on earth, he took the sand that was inside the snail shell and dropped it below. And then he set the hen free to go and peck at the sand. The hen pecked at the sand and threw it all over the world. And that's how mountains and land masses and just beaches and stuff like that came out. Land basically came out from that. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, that Orunmila also told Obatala to bring a plum cone with him too. So once land was established, Obatala threw the plum on the ground. So after that, trees rose, plum trees and other trees from that. Finally, when the land and the trees were there, Obatala came down, and one fine day he decided that just enjoying it by himself, he's going to create men. So he got some palm wine, and together with his magical black cat, he started to build shapes. He started to build shapes, and life was thrown into them later on. But a minor twist. What had happened was he was getting drunk and then creating these shapes. So he wasn't in his senses and did some mistakes, and these shapes were coming out to be disfigured and disabled. So he was really ashamed, Obatala, and said that I would never create while being under the influence. Then Obatala went ahead and created a separate shape of man and a separate shape of woman that was complete in all his senses, And when those came to life, those became the men and women of today. Now, Olokun, who is the sea god, is really pissed off in all of this because he was like, nobody consulted me in this. Obatala only consulted Oluran and came down here. I am mad for being ignored. So I'm going to send a flood that will destroy all of Obatala's creation. So, and that's how the first flood came down to man, that almost wiped out mankind. After that, Obatala and his creations started giving importance to Olokun and started worshiping him too, to appease him. So that is the story of the Yoruban creation myth. Now, my takeaways from this is, there's always a flood. I don't know why. There's always a flood in creations stories all over the world. And here we go. The flood is here as well. I don't know why that is, though. I guess one thing could be that in the ancient times there must have been a very, very, very catastrophic flood that happened that affected a lot of regions of the world. So the people from then included it as part of their history and part of their grounding or initial days, so to speak. Also, I like the fact that there's a black cat in here, and there's also a hen, but I'm a cat person. I like the black cat part better. Just being honest here. Cats have often depicted as being mystical creatures, and I like the fact that here it's the same. I think the black cat being with Obatala while he was creating, made all the difference, made the magic of creation complete. I also think that it's very interesting that in this story particularly, that before humans were being created, animals like hens and cats were present. So, in some religions, like the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, it is depicted that man is the apex, and no one came before man, and blah 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 blah. But that's not true for all mythologies, and I love the fact that this is one of the mythologies that puts other animals, being here first and honors them that way, where we are the ones that came later. Also the long gold chain, right? That connected heaven and earth. So that is to me a symbol of how gold is considered a very, very precious metal in certain cultures like Indian and Aruban, and the myth we're talking about, the culture that's associated with it. So it's so important to them that it's linked to the heaven, because without that gold chain, the divine beings wouldn't be able to come down here and give birth to mankind in this story, right? I don't know what to make of the pum nut and the pum, wine part of the story, but that is something you guys can help me with. Please, please, please. Down in the comments, connect with me and tell me what do you think of the palm nut part of the story, please. About the snail and the sand and the white hen, I think if water was here first, it just makes sense that sand and beaches would be the first type of land that would come out, versus volcanic land or versus regular fertile land. Yeah, that's about it for my takeaways from this story. I would really like to know yours, so please, please, please connect with me on the comments, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, and don't forget to like, share, and ring that bell notification to get all future video upload alerts. So that's it for now. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.